Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Thursday. It is November 2nd. Hey, yesterday we had a green day. We'll talk about that and some more earnings that are coming out today as we get ready to talk to Dave here in just a second. Before we do that, though, let's not forget that there are just only so many things that we cannot control. But I want you to know you can control the risk in your portfolio. You need to know what that risk is, and you need to know how much that risk should be based on your circumstances. That's why I developed the core retirement design. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. And with that, we got Dave coming up next.
5.7 Islands, Light FM, Earth, Wind, and Fire is there. They call me Morning Dave. I even think it says so on my driver's license. We're at 8:42 here. It's time to check in on your money and see what's going on Wall Street this morning. Yesterday afternoon was kind of interesting. Fed put out a decision on interest rates, and evidently it kind of bored everybody until Jay Paulson gave his press conference, and then things got excited. Let's go downtown to Statler Financial Services' very own Phillip Statler, who's on the line. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. Yesterday was really I don't know if it's a surprise. I guess to me it was a surprise announcement that interest rates weren't going to go up any, especially when you start reading some of the stuff that's in there. But I guess we ended up the day in a good spot, and I think we're starting off today. It looks like a good spot.
Absolutely. It's kind of a herky-jerky day through the day. We had kind of a dive late morning, and then Paulson at 2 o'clock spoke, and they mentioned that they weren't going to increase interest rates, and the market really didn't do anything much. Then at 2:30, when Paulson started his press conference, market originally dropped by about 100 points on the Dow after he said, we aren't even thinking about reducing rates anytime soon. But then as he continued to reassure folks saying we're not stupid either, people, we're not going to do anything precipitous, we went back up by 200 points. Net, the day ended up with the Dow up 222, Standard & Poor's up by 44, NASDAQ a full 1.6+% up 210 points. So net on the end of the day, I'd call it a pretty good day, wouldn't you?
I definitely would, Dave. Definitely a nice bounce back. But I don't know if you had a chance to read any of the stuff about Paulson in the meeting. But one of the things I found interesting, because you and I have talked about how Paulson said that he will not raise interest. They won't raise interest rates in December.
Right.
That was nowhere to be seen in the minutes. A matter of fact, the minutes were very opaque in terms of, we will make that decision in December when the December meeting happens as to whether or not we raise rates or not.
I didn't see that. I didn't have a chance to dive deep onto Paulson's press conference, but I'm kind of wondering right now whether or not he misspoke when he said we're not going to raise rates in December, and I think he wondered if he really meant November when he said that.
I'm thinking so, because I just I can't imagine he would go that far out and say we're not going to raise rates when he's one vote. And now I will say, this decision was a unanimous decision, the minute said.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good that, they said the economy was moving in the direction he wanted to move. Well, you and I have seen numbers that kind of maybe don't exactly agree with that back and forth. But
yeah, long-term trends might, but I'm kind of saying right now, anecdotally, the job ain't done by any measure, is it?
No, absolutely not. And so we'll continue to see and monitor what the Fed does and all the other indicators that we get thrown every month.
Yeah, definitely makes the next month's PCE numbers kind of loom real large after he basically. He didn't say it, but he was kind of correcting himself by saying, yeah, we're going to make a decision for December when December comes, and kind of opposite what we had earlier off of that, what I'm thinking right now might have been a misspeak on a rubber chicken speech.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a speechwriter put in there wrong, or he he misspoke when he said it. So
yeah, and it's kind of a weird calendar for the Fed right now at the end of the year, because was this the October or the November meeting? It started on October 31st. The end of it was on November 1st. So, you could almost pardon a college intern speechwriter for maybe getting her months messed up down the line. But either way, it's interesting. Brings us up to the morning and the data dump out of the government. Kind of interesting, and it tends to back up what Paulson was saying. We hit a 7-week high on first-time unemployment claims. It's still only 217,000, but it's considerably more than they expected. They were only expecting about 210. And then the number of continuing jobless claims also went up measurably to 1.82 million continuing claims. The employment market is still very healthy, but it's definitely slowing down from being overly hot.
It is, and so that if we can see that progress, if we can get those, and then you don't want to be the naysayer, but if we can get those initial claims back up to 250. That I think would give the Fed another feather in their cap to say, okay, we're heading the right direction on an employment standpoint.
For the sake of reminding everybody, 250 is kind of the old conventional wisdom as the normal sifting and winnowing in a normal market where companies are shopping for improvements on their employees and the employees are looking at other jobs as well. Right now, everybody's hanging on to what they got, hence the incredibly low number of unemployment claims.
Yeah. Hey, after you and I talked yesterday, Dave, construction spending came out. And
what did it do?
It was as expected. It was up 0.4%, but it was down off of the prior month. Prior month, construction spending was up 1%. So in line with expectations, but off of the prior month a little bit.
Intriguing. Tomorrow, of course, we get the big number because it's the first Friday in November. We get the official unemployment rate. They expect it to stay stable at 3.8%. Now, the ADP private sector report showed a really big increase in private sector jobs added last month. They're basically expecting the non-farm total payroll number to be down by, the better part of half of last month's numbers. If we end up staying high in the 300,000 job creation numbers, that may very well cause a little bit of upset as far as predicting what December's Fed meeting could do.
Well, that's true as well, and the unemployment rate and all those other numbers that come out tomorrow will definitely weigh in on those decisions.
Without a doubt. And we're reacting again this morning. I mean, they had a chance to put it in their teapot and brew it, and so far investors don't seem particularly uncheery this morning. They are responding to any of the reports that came out. I understand their favorite cup of coffee reported, Starbucks.
It did. Starbucks came in and had a really pretty good quarter. They exceeded expectations on revenue and on earnings. Same store sales were up by 8%. They said that they've seen higher average checks, and then a 3% actually in customer traffic. So that was good. And they came in at $1.06 versus 97 cents expected. And they came in about a tenth of a billion more than expected in revenue. So good news for those guys is they trend up today almost 11%.
Cool. I keep looking at the atomic, a tenth of a billion overachievement in revenue on cups of coffee and pastries. I'm banging head against the wall trying to understand it, but I'm glad they're doing well.
Hey, another one we have DoorDash, another big name out there. They're up this morning as well. Now they did they reported a loss, but but it was better than expected, right? They lost 19 cents a share. They were expected to lose 40 cents a share. And they're kind of the same boat. They beat by almost $100 million. So some good news for them. They were trading up 11% early this morning. Now they're up about 13.6%.
Because they didn't lose as much money as they expected.
Exactly.
All right.
Yep. Take it for just a second, Dave.
Oh, okay.
I saw it, man.
Once again, as we said, tomorrow we're going to end up getting some macro pictures down the line. We're also going to get some big numbers that come out later on today. Among the other stars that will be reporting that we'll be talking about tomorrow morning, including numbers like Apple Computer. The thing that's going to be watched real carefully on that is what their iPhone sales are like off of the iPhone 15. The big cell companies are offering giveaway for iPhones 15s. All you got to do is switch cell phone carriers and get a free iPhone 15 Pro. We don't know whether that indicates that Apple's having trouble selling them or whether they're just trying to take a stand and try to go for a new super cycle. We're going to get that a little bit later on today. Are you back with the earpiece?
I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to schedule a refrigerator delivery today, and so it popped up on my phone. I knew I had to take it real quick. Hey, let's go back to another household name, Dave. Roku report. They surged 18% earlier this morning. They're actually up 19% now. Get this, their revenue grew by over $1 million, and they expect their guidance was pretty good for this next quarter as well. And so, like I said, they're trading up they're getting close to 20% up today.
Good Lord. Now, they were one that I was almost writing an epitaph for off of the last quarter because they had an absolutely atrocious last quarter. Did they happen to say what it was that turned them so fast?
They did not.
That's just amazing to me.
Guidance, their guidance for the third and fourth quarter topped expectations.
Cool. Glad to hear.
So another one we have is, an old standby. Clorox reported they beat on revenue as well as on earnings, and they were soaring up like 11% earlier this morning, and so that was some good news for them. They are trading up about 11% now. And I'll finish with this one, Elf Beauty. They're a cosmetics company, right? And they
makeup for short people.
I guess so. I don't know.
Okay.
But they surpassed expectations on earnings as well, and they raised their full year guidance for the second quarter in a row. They were able to do that. They actually posted earnings of 82 cents a share versus 53 that was expected. So they were really getting a nice little pop this morning. I mean, we've got a lot of pops in terms of earnings, but they're up about 13% right now.
Well, some big moves you're reporting this morning. Yeah. Resetting the table. Yesterday was a green day, and it was surprising the way it started out. 45 minutes before we opened this morning, what are we looking at?
Hey, we've got green ink across the board, Dave. The Dow's up a little over 0.5%. The S&P 500 is up 0.75%. NASDAQ 100's got a big jump going on today, Dave, up 1.1%. So some big movers and shakers this morning as we get going. On the other side of the coin, we got silver making a big jump, up 1.75%, back over $23 to $23.19 an ounce. Gold's up 0.5%, still just a couple dollars shy of 2,000. And then crude oil must have taken a really hit yesterday because it's up 1%, but it's only $81.23 versus $83 and change yesterday.
Yeah, that sounds like good news to me, even though it's showing green on the overnight change. Overseas markets, the Asian Rim mostly up overnight at the close at 6 a.m. The Chinese mainland exchange was about the only one that really went down on the Asian Rim, and that probably is because of the ongoing problems they're having with their real estate trusts. Europe looked at us yesterday and looking at our futures this morning, and they're up resoundingly 1.5%, 2% more on the exchanges over in Europe halfway through their trading day. Stability in a retirement account is real important, even if you happen to miss a big up like some of those 20% gains that we're talking about this morning. How do I get the risk out of my retirement portfolio, Phillip?
Then give us a call at 863-382-0037 because that's exactly why we developed the core retirement design. Check out our website at statlerfinancial.com and then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. at noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730, 95.3 FM.
And back together again tomorrow morning at the same time. Phillip, handle the refrigerator, and I'll see you tomorrow, all right?
All right, man. Have a great day.
Thank you, my friend. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, thanks for joining us today. Have a great day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.